Welcome students to the students of standard 8. We have been studying about history chapter 3 ruling the countryside. Students, we have already completed the chapters, and as per the promise I had promised that I will give you the answer for the questions, and therefore I am going to give you the answer for the questions of chapter number 3. Students, since it is not possible to write all the answers on the board, therefore I am going to show you the answers from the book. I hope it would help you to note down the answers. So students, let's begin our answers. First, for the short questions. So short answer type questions. The number one is, what was the situation in the villages before the advent of the British? So students, there is no particular answer written on the book for this. Therefore, I am going to tell you the answer. Just listen it very carefully. The before the advent or before the coming of East India Company or British to India, the Indian villages were considered as one of the important social institutions. The villages were ruled by the local administrations. Different rajas and talukdars were looking after the different villages. Village headmen were taking care of the villages. So that were the situation of the villages in India before the coming of British. The second question is, why did East India Company need money? Why did the system of giving the revenue collection rights to the highest bidder fail? So students, why East India Company need money? For that we have to go to the page number 31, and there we get the answer. The British agrarian policies in India were designed to increase British revenue. The administration cost and the burden of war was paid by the revenue collected. So why they need money? They need money to carry on the administration, to pay the cost of the war and the soldiers. That's why East India Company need money. Why this highest bidder or ijaradari system failed? So the answer is the ijaradar pressurized the peasants. The ijaradars or the highest bidders, they pressurized, put a pressure on the farmers to pay the revenue, but they did not give any interest. They did not show any interest. They did not do any things for the welfare of the peasants. As a result, this ijaradari system failed. Okay, I hope you understood the answer. Answer is in this paragraph. Going to the question number 3, and that is, what is the meaning of the permanent settlements? So students, what is permanent settlements? The answer is page number 31 again. A permanent rate of revenue from the land was fixed. Okay, a permanent rate of revenue from the land was fixed, and this system of revenue collection was called permanent settlement. Students, I hope you understood this answer. A permanent rate of revenue from the land was fixed. This system of revenue collection was called as permanent settlement system. This system was introduced in the West Bengal and Bihar and Orissa. So that is the answer of the question number 3. Now moving to the question number 4. Write a short note on the ijaradari system. Short note on the ijaradari system. So again we have to go to the page number 31, ijaradari system. Ijaradari system was introduced in 1773 by Warren Hastings in Bengal. This was the first land tenure system implemented in India by British. Under this system, right of collecting revenue of a particular area was auctioned to the highest bidder. The peasants, shopkeepers and the merchants had to pay their taxes to the ijaradars or the bidders. So that was the ijaradari system. I have already explained in the classes. So that is the answer for question number 4. Moving to the next question number 5. Write the two features of permanent settlement. Two things, two speciality or two features of the permanent settlement. So for that we have to go to the page number Page number 32, and that is permanent settlements system. Students, this is the answer. Permanent settlement system. We have to write down only two features, 2 points. So, in permanent settlement system, the rate of revenue was not to be increased even in future. Means in permanent settlements, the revenue was fixed and which was not revised or not increased in future. Second number, the company official believed that this would give some motivation to the jamindars to invest in land, because in this jamindars were involved, jamindars were benefited, and they were given the right to collect the revenue. The East India Company thought that jamindars will be encouraged by this and they will support the agriculture in India. So these are the two features, point 1 and 2. You can write down for the question number 5. Moving to the question number 6. What is the meaning of Riyatwadi settlement? Meaning of Riyatwadi settlement. So answer is in page number, and page number is 32, Riyatwadi settlement system. Students, this is 6 number, question number 6. In South India, Riyatwadi system, the answer is here. In South India, Indian villages were called, in South India, Indian villages, a direct connection had to be established with the cultivators. The cultivators was known as riyats. So in South India, the farmers or the cultivators were known as riyats. So the East India Company directly had a connection with the farmers or the cultivators, and a settlement was done with the cultivators, and the riyats had to directly pay the revenue to the company officials. So here in Riyatwadi system, the company directly established relation with the riyats or the cultivators, and the cultivators or the riyats, they directly paid the revenue to the company official, and this system was called as the Riyatwadi settlement system. Moving to the long question, short question number 7. What do you mean by the Mahalwari system? So what is Mahalwari system? Coming to the question number 7 and page number 32, in Mahalwari system. Students, in Mahalwari system, a detailed plan of rates of revenue to be collected from each village. A village was called a Mahal in this system, and hence the name Mahalwari system came into use. Here is the answer. You can write down. I'm just explaining it. In this Mahalwari system, a revenue was fixed and a revenue was directly collected from a village. A revenue was collected from a village together, and village was called as the Mahal. Therefore this system was called as the Mahalwari system. Understood? Moving to the question number 8. Why did the peasant borrow money from the money lenders? So students, why did the farmers borrow money from the money lenders? Is here, page number 33. Okay, revenue demands. The company's revenue demands, failure of crops, and costly social customs such as marriage and festivals often compel the peasants to either sell part of their land or borrow money from the money lenders. So because of the revenue, high revenue, because of the different family program, functions, social customs, marriage, and to meet these demands, the farmers needed money and they borrowed the money from the money lenders. Question number 8, the answer is here. Moving to the question number 9. Why did Britain need indigo? What caused Britain to encourage its cultivation in India? So why did Britain need indigo? For that we have to go to the page number 34. Why did Britain need indigo? So students, the industrial revolution had revolutionized the textile industry in England. There was an industrial revolution, as I told you, and because of that industrial revolution there was a textile industry developed in England. Okay, the Britain needed indigo to dye cloth. Therefore, Britain needed indigo to dye the clothes, and therefore they uh, came to India because there was already, to meet the growing demand for indigo, Britain turned to India because there was indigo cultivation in India started even from the medieval period. So therefore the uh, Britain looked for India for the cultivation of indigo. Moving to the question number 10, short question number 10. What led to the Pisant revolt? Finally, we have seen the Pisant revolt. So, what led to the Pisant revolt? Page number in 35, Indigo rebellion. So, the problem associated with indigo cultivation, the problem that the Indian farmers, especially in Bengal, they faced problem because of the indigo cultivation. Their condition was very poor. They started losing their lands because of the taking loans. So because of the problems associated with the indigo cultivation resulted in popular unrest and finally in popular rebellion. So finally the Pisans revolted in West Bengal. So that is the answer for the question number 10. So these are were the short question answers. Now we will go very quickly and move to the long question answer. Explain reason for the company's intention towards reform in land revenue system. The first question, why the company wanted to reform the land revenue system in India. So for that we have to go to the long question answers here in page number again in 31. Okay, same answer we see here. The India suffered from British colonialism. It underwent agricultural, industrial, and the trade transformation. The British agrarian policies in India were designed to increase British revenue. So why they made a different changes in the land reforms? So because to increase the revenue, and why they needed revenue to maintain their administration, to maintain their soldiers and war expenses, and all for all those things they made some changes in the land revenue system. So that is the long question answer. You can write again from the same paragraph. Moving to the question number 2, why did the permanent settlement fail to generate desired revenue from the British? So question number 2, why the permanent settlement failed? So the answer is here, the failure of the permanent settlement. Okay, long question number 2 here, the failure of the drawbacks or the failure of the permanent settlement. There are many points are given. You need to write down only few, 3 or 4 main things. The rate of the revenue was too high. Many jamindars were unable to pay the revenue. Okay, those who failed to pay the land revenue on time lost the jamindari rights. Jamindars who lost jamindari rights were angry with the company, and jamindars were not interested in investing in the land reforms. So these were the reason for why the permanent settlement system failed. Moving to the question number 3, how was Mahalwari system different from the Riyadwadi system? So in Mahalwari system, students, let me tell you the answer. In Mahalwari system, a revenue was collected together from a village. You have to understand, in Mahalwari system, the revenue was collected from the village together, not from individual farmers. But in Riyatwadi system, the revenue was collected directly from the riyats or the cultivators. So this is the difference. So in Mahalwadi system, the revenue was collected from the villages and indirectly through the village headmen. Whereas in Riyatwadi system, the revenue was directly collected from the riyats or the cultivators. So these are the difference between Mahalwadi system and the Riyatwadi system. Students, in question number 4, long question number 4, we will not look the answer. We will go directly to the 5 number. What was the difference between the land revenue system in North India and South India? What were the reason for the difference? So students, what was the difference between land revenue system in North India and South India? So what we see in North India, we see the revenue was collected indirectly through the jamindars or through the village headmen. That was the system in North India revenue collection. So in North India, the revenues were collected from the villages, okay, and through the jamindars, through the ijaradas, or through the village admin. Whereas in North India, in South India, the revenue collection was directly fixed with the cultivators. Directly, the revenue was directly collected from the peasants or from the farmers. So that is the difference between the revenue collection system in the North India and South India. Students, moving to the next one, the long question number 6. Discuss the impact of the land revenue settlement on the peasants. So discuss the impact of the land revenue settlement on the peasants. So impact of the land revenues on the peasants, and that is the answer, long question number 6. So students, we see the long question, impact of the land settlements on the peasants. Here is the long question number the 6. The land revenue settlement introduced by the company impoverished the peasants. Land now became a sellable commodity which could be bought, sold, or mortgages. This led to the deep impact on the rural life and economy. The farmers became the victim of debt. They came under the debt. Most of the farmers, they lost their lands. So this was the impact of the land settlement system. Students, so these were the uh, question answers. And 7 number, why did the cultivators of indigo fall in debt trap? Long question number 7. So as I told you that the indigo cultivation was a highly high cost, and they needed money, and it was a capital intensive, it was a labor intensive. Therefore, to maintain the indigo cultivation, the farmer had to take the loan from the moneylenders. The answer is from here, and you can follow the answer from this. So these are all the long question answers and short question answer. I hope you will be able to follow it, and that's all for today. Thank you very much.